Hi everyone, welcome to the Feral Druid guide for patch 5.4.7. As this guide is going to be very in-depth and long, I have decided to put all the links to different sections down below so you can choose which one you want to go to first. Okay, we're going to start off our guide by looking at the talents. On the first line we have Feline Swiftness, Displace a Beast, and Wild Charge. Now, Wild Charge is generally considered the talent to take here. It's very versatile as it has many different options for different forms, such as in non-shapeshifted form, you can fly to an ally's position. So if you're in Blade's Draenor, for example, and you're on the bottom level and your partner's on top, you can just fly up to him to help him out or to escape the enemies. When you're in bear form, you immobilize the target for 4 seconds, and if you're in cat form, you leap behind them and daze him for 3 seconds. And then travel form, this is a very good key here to getting away. You leap forwards 20 yards, very nice gap. Now, Displace a Beast is the other one that people sometimes take, not very often, but some people do. You teleport 20 yards in front and then you gain a movement speed by 50%. It's quite nice to get a nice gap, but Wild Charge is generally considered the talent to take. Feline Swiftness, no, I would not recommend it personally. It's just a movement speed increase. It does not stack with our set. Alright, now on to the next talent set. Ysera's Gift, Renewal, and Cenarian Ward. These are your healing talents. Ysera's Gift, it heals you 5% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. And then when you're at full health, it heals one of your partners. Now this is a very strong heal, but if you are in a healer DPS comp, for example, and you're at 99% health, your partner's not going to get healed. So it's not the best talent to take here. It has its uses, but I would not recommend using it all the time. Renewal, it instantly heals the Druid for 30% of maximum health. Now it's got quite a long cooldown, but when it's macroed with Might of Berserk, that's a 60% instant heal. It's a big heal right there. And finally, Cenarian Ward, which is the one I recommend taking. It heals you for 31.5k. It was you or your target, sorry, 31.5k every 2 seconds for 6 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. That's a very strong heal, especially if you take Heart of the Wild. It increases the healing a lot. You don't take much damage when you have those two pop together. And now onto the third set of talents, Fairy Swarm, Mass Entanglement, and Typhoon. What Fairy Swarm does, it attaches a snare to your Fairy Fire. So as well as preventing stealth or invisibility, and as well as decreasing armor, it now puts on a 30% reduced speed, 15 seconds. It's quite good. And then we have Mass Entanglement, which is an AoE root. What this does, it roots a target for 20 seconds and spreads additional nearby enemies. However, roots break incredibly easy, so this is not the strongest talent, but it's quite nice if you want to get away, or if your opponent is a hunter and is using Stampede. Now, on Typhoon, this is the one I personally take, and a lot of people recommend this. What this does, it's a cone knockback, so this is incredibly strong, and also it interrupts spells. So if you need a spell interrupt, or you just need to get people away, this is incredibly good. So you're on Blade's Edge Arena, for example, and you're on the top level. You can blow people off, so they have to run back around. It's very good, very good. I recommend this one very much. Next we have Soul of the Forest, Incarnation, and Force of Nature. What Soul of the Forest does, every time you use a finishing move, you get granted 4 energy per combo point. So if you have 5 combo points, you get replenished 20 energy, which is quite a nice energy regen. And it's passive as well. Next we have Incarnation, which is one of our burst spells. It gives you a new form called King of the Jungle, which allows you to use abilities which normally require stealth, such as Prowl, and it removes the positional requirement of Ravage. Incredibly strong, and definitely recommend Incarnation. And then finally, Force of Nature, which summons treants to they do 41 physical damage every 2 seconds and will cast Entangling Roots. It's quite nice if you want to kite people, it's quite strong. But Incarnation is our main thing. Next, we have Disorienting Roar, Oracle's Vortex, and Mighty Bash. What this does is an AoE disorient. So what it does, everyone in the area gets disoriented for 3 seconds, but any damage will remove the effect. It's quite nice if you want to get away, or if you're doing against a 3 melee cleave, for example. Also, Oracle's Vortex is a destination spell, so you just put down a location where you want to go. And what this does, it reduces the movement speed of all enemies within 8 yards by 50%. It's quite strong. Mighty Bash is the one that most people generally take. Well, this is 5 seconds stun. It's with a 50-second cooldown, so it's quite nice just to put that in every now and then. And finally, these are our main talents: Heart of the Wild, Dream of Cenarius, and Nature's Vigil. Heart of the Wild I generally recommend for 1v2 comps, so, 1v2 games, sorry. So I do a lot of boosting to make money, where I boost a person through arena to get their cap. And I use this because it turns me from a DPS into a healer, for example, because what this does, it literally turns you into every spec. So if I am in feral form and I use this, I can go into healing, I can go into moonkin if I want to, I can tank. It's very nice for versatility. Dream of Cenarius is more of a sustained damage spell. What this does is that every time you cast Healing Touch, your next two abilities gain 30% additional damage, as well as increasing Healing Touch by 20%. That's a very, very strong spell. I recommend using that for BGs mainly, but you may be able to find a place for that in Arena as well. Next, and finally, is Nature's Vigil. What Nature's Vigil does, increases all damage and healing done by 12% for 30 seconds. This is very good for your burst. As well as doing this, every time you damage, your partner gets healed 25% of the damage, and then if you heal, the enemies take 25% of the heal as damage. It's very strong. I recommend using this if you're in a maybe in a healer DPS comp, or a DPS comp where your partner is very confident and maybe can heal himself as well. Very strong, very strong. I generally go for these two in arena, maybe this in BGs, but not all the time. Now on to Glyphs. Now these are the three I really recommend using. We have Glyph of Barkskin, Glyph of Catform, and Glyph of Savagery. What Glyph of Catform does, increases the healing done to you by 20% while in Catform, which is a lot. So if you're in a healer DPS comp, it's really going to help your healer out, and it also increases your rejuves, your healing touches, snaring wards, all that. So I really recommend using this. I would not personally go into PvP without this glyph, but that's your choice. Next we have Glyph of Barkskin, which reduces the chance to be critically hit by 25% while Barkskin is activated. So for example, say you're stuck in a deep freeze, you're going to be critically hit 25% less. That's a big difference. And you use Barkskin a lot in arena, especially because of the short cooldown. And Glyph of Savagery, Savage Roar can be used with 0 combo points, resulting in 12-second duration. Savage Roar should be up all the time, so just having this glyph means you don't have to. It means your opener can have a Savage Roar buff, and it means if you have no combo points, you can just use your Savage Roar when you need to. Now these are the other two glyphs I might recommend using. We have Glyph of Phase Silence and Glyph of Cyclone. What Phase Silence does, it gives your Fairy Fire a 3-second silence when in bear form, but it also gives it a 15-second cooldown. And what Glyph Cyclone does, it increases the range of your Cyclone spell by 5 yards, which is quite good, as we have to cast Cyclone now anyway, so we have to be out of range ready to cast it. And next, onto Reforging. As a Feral Druid, Mastery is our main thing. You want 3% melee hit, but then you want to go to everything into Mastery. Mastery increases the damage output of our bleeds. And as a Feral, our bleeds are our main source of damage. After Mastery, you want to go into Crit, and then if you can't go into Mastery or Crit, you want to go into Haste. And now on to Gemming. You either want the Agile Primal Diamond or the Tyrannical Primal Diamond for the meta slot. The Agile Primal Diamond increases your agility by 216 and increases your critical effect by 3%. And then the Tyrannical Primal Diamond gives you 665 PvP power plus 775 PvP resilience. Next in the Prismatic slot, you want a Delicate Primordial Ruby, which increases your agility by 160. For the blue slot, you want an Assassin's Imperial Amethyst, which increases your agility by 80 and 80 PvP power. Then red slot, you want a Delicate Primordial Ruby, which increases your agility by 160. And then for yellow, you really want an Adept Vermilion Onyx, which increases your agility by 80 and your mastery by 160. Unless you haven't got the hit cap, when you want to go for the Sensize Wild Jade, which increases your hit by 160 and your mastery by 160. And now we're on to macros. These are the 4 macros I personally use. We have Power Shifting, Movement, Trap Eating, and the one-shot Swifty macro. Okay, as a druid, we can get out of snares and roots by changing form, but what the Power Shifting macro does, it lets us stay in the same form, but still get out of the roots and snares. I cannot imagine PvPing without this macro. Next we have the one-shot Swifty macro. What this does, it puts all of our burst stuff together. So we have Cast Tiger's Fury, use 13, which is the top trinket slot, so put your DPS trinket up there. Use our Incarnation, cast Nature's Vigil, and cast Berserk. This literally just makes it easier to get into all of your burst stuff at once. I recommend using this. Next, we have the movement macro. This puts us into our swift flight form if we're able to fly, and if not, it puts us into our travel form. I know this isn't really a PvP macro, but it saves me having to use 2 different key bindings for 2 different forms. It just puts it into one macro. It's really helpful. Finally, we have the trap eating macro. What this does, it cancels our form and puts us into our standard caster form, so that we can fly to our healer or whatever to sit in the trap. This is really helpful because, you know, priests can dispel, all that kind of stuff. I would recommend using this if you're in a 3s team. Here is a list of the Addons I use. Before I go into detail on what they do, it's going to give you a quick list here so you can write them down so they're easier to type in so you can search. Okay, first off is Druid Focus. Now Druid Focus it tracks all of your bleeds down here, as well as showing you what things are coming off cooldown. It'll show up just on the side here, and then as well as that, it will give you a little announcement when your Savage Roar is about to go down. So just for example, here's Typhoon. In 25 seconds you'll see it come up, or in 30 seconds, sorry, you'll see it come up here. Also, if I do some bleeds on the target, you see them pop down here. It's just, as a feral druid, you want to be keeping your bleeds constantly on track. Next we have plate buffs, which are these show the debuffs at the top of the health bar. So as a feral druid, you want to be tracking your bleeds as much as you can, so the more places you can see it, the better. Next is tidy plates, which is just the changes the plate here. All it says is Typhoon's back up there, you can see it. It just makes the bars easy to see. Next, I use Bartender. Bartender is really helpful because you can move your action bars how you like them. I have them set like this. It just makes it easier to track what everything is instead of everything being scattered across the screen. Nice to keep them nice and tidy, so if you want to find something quickly, you can see the cooldown really easily. And also it helps you key bind because you can just click the thing and then change the key binding instead of going into the options and changing it that way. Next I use Gladius. Gladius you can't see right now because it's an arena only thing, but what it does, it tells you what cooldowns are being used. So say for us, Scare Beast is going to come up on a hunter. It'll say Scare Beast in your headphones or your speakers, and you can quickly go back into caster form so Scare Beast doesn't hit you. It lets you know when trinkets have been used. It literally lets you know when anything's been used in arena. It's really helpful. I'd recommend using it. Now I've gotten used to it, I couldn't really know without it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Tidy plates, Druid Focus, plate buffs, Bartender. Anything else? Oops, I did forget Ice HUD. Ice HUD is something I wouldn't say is necessary, but I like to have it. Basically, it's this thing here. It shows your health, energy, all this kind of stuff. So it's really helpful just if you don't want to look into the top left corner. I personally don't like X Pearl, which puts your stuff around here. So Ice HUD lets me keep track of my health in the middle of my screen. Before we go into rotations, I want to give you reasons why we keep up things and why we do other things. Okay, so first, you want to keep up Savage Roar, Rake, and Rip. You want to keep up Savage Roar at all times because without it, you'll be doing a lot less damage. It's what, 40% less? Yeah. And then you want to keep your Rake and Rips up because they are our bleeds, our main bleeds, and especially Rip. You want to use 5 combo points on Rip because it does a lot of damage. Next are our combo generators. We have Rake, Mangle, Shred, and Ravage. Our finishers are Savage Roar, Rip, Ferocious Bite, and Maim. You want to keep your 5 combo point Rip at all times, Savage Roar up at all times, and then after that you can go into either Ferocious Bite or Maim. Ferocious Bite is a strong finisher, well not too strong, but it does a lot of damage. Its chance to critically strike is increased by 25% against bleeding targets. And then we have Maim, which is our stun. With our glove set, it increases the damage done by Maim by 100%, which makes it stronger than Maim, Ferocious Bite, but it costs 10 more energy, so choose wisely which you have them. And next, onto our defenses, we have Barkskin, Survival Instinct, and Might of Ursoc. Barkskin is the one with the shortest cooldown and can be used when stunned, so this one is one you can use more freely when you feel like you have to. Survival Instincts is a 3-minute cooldown, but it reduces the damage by 50%. So say you're getting crazy bursted, Survival Instincts is very good to use here. Then our last resort is Might of Ursolot, which is another 3-minute cooldown. What this does, it puts us into bear form, increases our health by 30%, as well increases our maximum health in bear form for by 30% as well. Next we have Dash and Stampeding Roar. These are really good to kite, so if you want to need to get away to heal, use these, preferably to get away. Stampeding Roar also does your whole team, so if your partner is snared and wants to get out and run away, use Stampeding Roar to help him out, then Dash is just for yourself. And our Burst is just a one-shot macro, pounce and spam Ravage. But obviously keep up your bleeds and your Savage Roar. And now on to our rotation. So our opener will be Prowl, Savage Roar, Pounce, Rake, Mangle or Shred or Ravage if you have the set for Ravage, Tiger's Fury, and then Rip. Okay. So, let's do this. Prowl, Savage Roar, Pounce, Rake, Ravage, Mangle, Rip, and then let's go into our Burst, which would be one shot, Pounce, Ravage spam. Make sure you keep your bleeds up and your Savage Roar up. So, one shot macro, Savage Roar, Pounce, Ravage spam, go ham on that, Rake, keep that up. And then you want to spin your combos, whatever, so I'm going to do Ferocious Bite. Just keep spamming that wrangle. Bam, bam, bam. Savage Roar came off, bam, Ravage, Rake, keep that up. Now you get Rip back up, so 5 common points to Rip. There you go, got it. Bam. Okay, and now you see these little branches here? This is called clear casting. If you've got Rip and Rake up, you want to use this on a Thrash. That's an extra bleed right there. And now this is our main rotation. We've got keep Rake up, keep Savage Roar up, get that Rip back on, bam, Rip. If you're behind your target, you want to swap Shred for Mangle. If Ravage is up from your 30-second cooldown from the set, you want to use your Ravage. That's pretty much it. So, to recap, main rotation, Rake, Ravage, Shred or Mangle, Bleed, Savage Roar, keep popping that up, just keep doing that. Bam. Simple. And there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this guide. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like, a share, hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoy watching streams, please check out my stream, which is twitch.tv/bananaraccoon. Thank you for watching.